So in a previous video, I bought a bunch of tools from an auction. One of them was this really cool Irwin #1 expansive auger bit. If you didn't get a chance to check that video out, check it out here. This was really cool, but this was the prize of the auction, in my opinion. This is the beauty right here. What is in this box, I think, is one of the coolest things. Yeah, this was one of the coolest things out of the entire auction, and I got it. Let's see what's inside. In this plastic bag is the paperwork, the original paperwork for this tool. What's in this box is an original, all pieces there, Stanley No. 50 combination plane. First, just check out the paperwork. It's printed on cardstock. It's just immaculately taken care of. The staples are still there. Everything. Look at that. Just everything is set up perfectly to show you how to work it, how to put it all together, the different pieces, the different cutters. Just amazing. Stanley is just so cool for just doing stuff like this. So again, I won this in the auction. Inside I have an original thumb screw in here, as well as, I'm not sure what that is. So I think it's part of the scoring. So I think you can use this to score things with. I'll have to read and find out. One of the cool things that I thought was just awesome about this is this. Stanley made a box, a wooden box. This thing came in a wooden box with all the cutters in it. And it's still there. It's still functioning. Although the label is still there. This thing was just meticulously maintained. So if we take that off, we have access to every single one of the cutters. This plane can do everything. It can cut rabbets, it can cut grooves, it can cut bead molding. This thing can create tongue and groove. It just does so much stuff out of one little hand plane. Just so cool. So in the middle here is the tongue blade, right? So this has this cut in the middle of it, this 1/4 inch slot. And this is made to run across your piece of wood and planes down both sides and creates that tongue, right? So pretty cool. So what you would do then is afterwards you'd go through with your 1/4 inch blade, this one, mount that in, and then you would cut a groove into the board. And when you put the two boards together, they lock together in tongue and groove. So that is just the one cool thing about this set that this does. But it does so much more. It's just so cool. These blades are all there. They're all original to the box as far as I can tell. They've all been sharpened really well. Some of them could use a bit of a sharpen. They're a little older, but not bad. Some of these I don't think have ever been used. Like this one here, I don't think has ever been out of the box. It's just still just crystal clean. So now all these here are for kind of roundovers. You can use it for, or you can use it to cut beading, like beading and boards and stuff. Just so cool, man. So we get the whole set of the blades, which having them all together and still in its original box, I think is just really cool. Sorry, they're called cutters. I just call them blades, but still check that out. We've got the fence. So I was trying to date this thing and I was curious. I don't know if this fence is original to the plane or not because it's painted, and I'm not sure. I did a Google search. I'm not the best at dating these things, and dating the number 50 seems to be harder than dating a number 4 or something like that. So if you do know a lot about these, let me know. Maybe you could give me a little closer, but from my understanding, I think this plane is somewhere around the 1930s. But I did go on and I tried to do a quick Google search on hey, what one has a painted fence? Maybe this is, maybe it's newer. And the response I got back was somewhere in the 1800s they painted them. I don't think that's right, but I could be wrong. Maybe this thing is from the late 1800s. It's possible. So not sure as far as that goes, or maybe this is just, maybe the original was broken, or maybe it did come with that. I don't know. So here is the number 50 body. This thing is gorgeous. Look at that. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Check that out. Got Stanley written on the side. This one was made in the USA, which makes me think 1930s or so. I think a lot of the older ones were still made in England at that time, and I think the older ones, I'm not sure if it's the older ones or the newer ones from maybe the 50s and still had Stanley written on the side of it, of the handle. But we've got a rosewood handle, which is gorgeous. It's in really good shape. I don't see any cracks or scratches or anything. This thing fits in my hands so well. I love it. We've got a depth gauge on the side here. So this little screw allows this to raise and lower, so it allows you to cut your groove down to a certain depth and then it just stops cutting, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so it's got two nickers up front, which is made to score the wood when you're cutting across the grain. It'll score the wood so that you don't get a lot of tear out, and those get unscrewed and get screwed in this little hole here. On the other side, this is where the blade goes in, this little groove here, and then this kind of arm here, this arm here goes up and down to either push the blade out more into the wood or pull it back. Then we have two of the original kind of rods that this thing rides on. So we've got two of those, both in amazing shape. And then finally, we've got the other side, the fence, where we've got our number 50 written real nice, really cool, narrow wing nut here. I'll show you why that's narrow for a reason. And this is the other side that holds our blade in place and has our shaving extractor. So let's put this thing together and I'll show you what it does. So once our blade is in place and we've got it set with this little keyway in those teeth, then we take our wing nut, our special wing nut here, and we thread it on the other side. I believe there's supposed to be a washer for this side. I could be wrong, but we tighten that down and we are ready. So this side here controls that blade going in and out. So you'd have to loosen this up. Maybe I tighten that a little bit too much. But you can see here, as I move that blade goes up and down, right? So that sets your depth of cut. And then finally, this fence slides on the end here. And this allows you to set where on the piece of wood you want to cut your groove. So you can either cut a rabbet on the side, or you can cut your groove a little bit further in. Let's check this out on a piece of wood and see how it actually cuts. All right, so I've got this piece of pine that we used on our auger bit video here set up in the vise. I've got our fence pulled close, and we're gonna start, we start on the furthest end with these. So we start, it's kind of counterintuitive to a regular hand plane where you would start down on this end and push through. You actually start at the end and work your way back, and then you can do full strokes. But in the beginning, you're supposed to start down here. So I've got this set up right now to just cut a little bit of a rabbet. Right there, you can see we've hit our depth stop and we're no longer cutting. So there is the Stanley number 50 in action. This thing is really cool. It needs a little bit of a tune-up. The blades, obviously, I didn't sharpen. Those are, you know, out of the box. Who knows the last time they were sharpened. So with a little bit of sharpening and a little bit of tuning, this thing is going to be chef's kiss amazing. This is going to be great to add to the collection of tools. I really look forward to using this thing. I'm gonna find ways, honestly, to use this in like every video. Everything's gonna have a rabbet or a groove in it or something, you know. I don't know. I do have an idea to build a table soon, and I'm gonna build the first one out of pine just to, I've never built a table, so I'm gonna use it on cheap wood first to kind of learn the ropes. And then from there, I'm going to, you know, build one on a nice hardwood or cherry or something. But I'm gonna build it out of pine so I can teach myself how to make a table. And this is gonna be used in that for sure. As well as a lot of the other tools and stuff that I've been reviewing lately. I'm trying to find ways to incorporate them all into this upcoming stuff. So A, I learn how to use the tool better, and B, I can learn how to build a table. So it's gonna be a small end table, you know, something like maybe for the bedside. Because the assistant has been asking for one, and I need to learn how to make one so that I can make her a good one. But with all that being said, if you like these type of tool reviews, click the subscribe button. The subscribe button. Click the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss more cool tool reviews like this, new and old. Or woodworking videos, or adventure videos, hiking videos, kayaking videos, motorcycle videos. We do so much on this channel, it's crazy. So click the button down below so you don't miss those. Comment on this video, tell me what you think of this number 50. Did I set it up wrong? What am I doing? I'm literally basing everything I'm saying off of me researching this and watching like 2 YouTube videos. So I could be totally off on a lot of this stuff. If I am, check me down below and teach me, because I would love to learn. I still don't know what this goes to, so I'll have to figure that out. And I don't know what this does, so again, I'll have to figure that out as well. Probably read the book would be helpful. At this point, I'm rambling, so I will see you on the next one.